primetime Poulton, keep it entertaining. You already know when outworking everybody and he don't ever quit. Talking about plenty comics like Graveyard Shift, Sea Dogs, Viking Wolf, U.S. Assassin, doing just what he loves. This is his passion. Bring more value to your dollar. No, I'm not fronting. That's how just a writer became a moral compass. This is primetime Poulton. This is primetime Poulton. Let's go.
What's up, guys? Happy Monday. It's the Moral Compass with me, the Cowboy, Phil McNulty. We're not on our usual Sunday. I have a feeling with the holidays coming up, there's going to be a couple of rescheduled episodes.
Yeah, but at least we're committed, and
Absolutely.
That's the thing. At
Twice
least
a week.
Twice a week. We're doing our best. So thank you for everybody who's sticking with us and finding us on our obscure time changes.
Past Master Dan is in the house. Actually, he was here yesterday when I first posted the stream, and he says, "Be there or be square." Oh yeah, Phil, you were a little late. So in the time you were late, I hate to break it to you, but you've been released. We wish you well Morrison. In your future endeavors.
I've been Morrison twice now.
Yeah, and Jimmy the Lumberjack is here. Hey now,
what up, Jimmy?
Yeah. So, you sort of alluded to it. There's been more WWE releases. We're going to go over them. We're going to talk some AEW and a surprise heel turn. And we're going to talk Impact Wrestling's pay-per-view turning point. But first, we have to pay the bills here, Phil.
Always. Let's plug away.
U.S. Assassin Book 3 in demand. Over $45,000 now. We're at $45,143. Books are supposed to start arriving this week. Once they're all in, Mike McMahon's going to fly here and sign them. And I think while he's here, we're going to close down the in-demand store. So you got about 2 weeks, I think, to get those last-minute orders in. But I've just been overwhelmed with the support for this volume. Mike's hard at work on volume 4. He's sending me pages almost every day, and they look fantastic. So we're totally committed to U.S. Assassin, and we might have a few tricks up our sleeve for the next volume as far as rewards and stuff. I've been doing a little research, so it's never a good thing when I'm looking for new rewards and stuff. But hey, that's how we get the ammo cases.
That's how, in order to, sell gimmicks, you got to create gimmicks.
Absolutely. So, Phil, I checked my mailbox when I got home. I had a couple packages in the mail, and I thought, they were kind of, comics and wrestling related. I thought we'd do a live unboxing.
Let's do it.
All right. First up, this is from eBay. Look at this.
Ooh, is that an ash can?
Yeah, Wildcats 5 ash can.
That's beautiful. Oh,
when it was Homage Studios, not Wildstorm.
When it was good.
Yeah, I was, sometimes I get bored and I just scroll through eBay and
you get nostalgia.
Catches my eye. Yeah. But
now I'm gonna have to look for it. So I have every issue of Wildcats except for issue number 11. For some reason, I can't find it. I even have the gold holofoil embossed number 1, and I can't find number 11. So probably after the holidays, I'll see what I can do.
Oh, that's an easy eBay.
An easy
search.
dollar grab.
Yeah. All right, next up. This comes from our friends at the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast.
With the hottest wrestler on the scene right now.
Oh, yeah. Matt Cardona. He has to be Indie Wrestler of the Year.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Is there anyone who's done more outside of the E than just go straight to AEW?
Yeah, I don't think so. nicely bubble wrapped. So we got a Brian Myers micro brawler,
Nice.
and this one's going to pop you. I know it. A VSK micro brawler.
Only on the Pod Gods would you find someone who bought the VSK microballer.
And look at this. I got the Chase figure.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
VSK came with 2 different color tights, and the Islander colors was the hard Chase, and I got it. Very cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna talk about VSK.
Yeah, we are.
Let's talk Impact Wrestling Turning Point.
Mhm.
Did you have a chance to watch it?
I did. Was able to check it out with my breaks. So let's get ready to rock and roll.
What a surprise pay-per-view this happened to be.
There were a lot of, and it's funny because there's a lot of backstage influences I think happened at this time too. There were guys who were running short on their deals, guys who are re-signing deals at the last minute that I think really impacted this card.
Oh, you know what? We should talk WWE releases before we get into this pay-per-view. But first, let's check the chat. Jimmy the Lumberjack says talent dump at WWE because of salaries or because they do not know what to do with the talent. I think it's all to make their books look better because they're going to be sold.
I think it's a combination of both. I think they're purposely. I think it's the fact that they want their books to look good. They're trying to sell it, which we believe. And I think they have the talent that they don't know what to do with, and that's just the casualties of it. Because they're making their books look good, they're getting rid of the people who they don't know what to do with talent-wise.
Yep. Pastmaster Dan says Mark is jealous. His hat is smaller. I have hat envy. Yeah. Pastmaster Dan, is there real blood? Real wrestling needs blood. Absolutely, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
If you want to see blood, tune into an AEW pay-per-view. Or tune into TNT and watch AEW. There's always a lot of blood.
Soon to be TBS.
Yep. Jimmy the Lumberjack says, but the hat matches the earphones. Absolutely. Pastmaster Dan says, good point, Jimmy. And Jimmy says, the new talent has no skills in blading. Muttman says you look like J.R. McNulty.
What up?
My God. Muttman says Wildcats 11 is the greatest comic of all time.
Tapestry. First appearance.
Jimmy Lumberjack says Stone Cold that SOB. I shared a tweet yesterday, and it was like, it said, if you're going to hate someone, hate them like JR hates Triple H. And it was just all these clips of JR's just running down Triple H in his commentary, saying he had no soul, that he was like scum. It was fantastic.
By God, that man has sold his soul to the devil himself.
Yeah. Pastmaster Dan says Mark wins on style points. Thank you. Although I think Phil, he rocks the cowboy hat well.
And I'm classing up with a cardigan today.
Yeah. Jimmy the Lumberjack says, I like Matt's videos on toy hunting while he's on the road. Absolutely. A Major Wrestling Figure Podcast YouTube channel is a must watch for me. Hicks Villain, Long Island's own VSK. Absolutely. Phil looks like a Western accountant.
Damn straight.
Amanda B is in the house. What's up, Amanda? Does Phil ever take the hat off, and how stinky is it?
No, and very.
And Pastmaster Dan says his apologies. You look more like a Western lawyer.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, let's get into these WWE releases, highlighted by Johnny Drip Drip, John Morrison. Then we have Isaiah Swerve Scott, Top Dollar, Ashante the Adonis, all of Hit Row, Tegan Knox, Drake Maverick, Shane Thorne, and Jackson Riker. These are all people that you see on TV. I mean, Jackson Riker maybe hasn't been on TV in a couple months, but during the summer, he had like a hot Raw storyline.
Mm-hmm. What they did was they hired all these people and they brought all of them up and they realized that they didn't know what to do with them. And they said, you know what? Well, we can get rid of them because people don't know them that well. I think that's what happened with Poor Hit Row. They had all the talent, all the promos. We saw the writing on the wall once B-Fab was released. And then it just seems like...
They did these vignettes, Hit
Mhm.
Row coming to SmackDown. They were drafted.
They've had action figures that have already been solicited for pre-order. They're all going to be in the new WWE 2K game, but because the game hasn't released yet, they actually may be scrubbed out of it, and all that talent will have lost the money. I think that's another budget cutting thing that they did.
I read Top Dollar was rubbing people the wrong way backstage when B-Fab got released. He called the office about it, which great for him, sticking up for one of his stable mates. But apparently it rubbed people the wrong way, and he was very outspoken. So it cost everyone in Hit Row their jobs.
Well, I think there's a sort of a the word escapes me, but there's almost a chivalrous aspect of it where it's the moral thing to do when you see like you're coming up with these people and one person gets released and you're just trying to stick up for your buddy. I think they definitely have a huge upside of, they'll probably one of the first, groupings that Impact probably signs out, puts them on to a main event scene because all of them are so talented. It's just really a shame what the WWE does to their talent.
Yeah, I would say Hit Row has Impact Wrestling written all over them.
Oh, Impact Row.
Jimmy the Lumberjack says John Morrison, I think, was the case. They did not know what to do with him. Once they separate him from Miz, it's all Miz's fault for getting on Dancing with the Stars.
They set up the heel turn. They set up the heel turn for Miz. They set up the face turn for Morrison. But this is ultimately the case with poor John Morrison. This is when it comes to his WWE run. Vince will never buy him. For some reason, he will never buy him. I don't know if it's because Batista and Melina had a thing and Morrison didn't pop him backstage. If that's where he's like, oh, he can't be a real man. Like, it's weird things that, and he gets amnesia about it. He signs him. Says, oh, man, this guy is great in the ring. I mean, the way he got better on the promos, the way he now hits Starship Pain with ease, and he hits it all the time with accuracy. It's just a shame that AEW wanted him, and I think that's what set up the whole Brian Cage thing. I think they couldn't get Morrison, so they signed Cage. It's really a shame that he made the worst business decision going to WWE before AEW was signing everybody that leaves there. So I think he'll probably be back to Johnny Impact.
Yeah, I was going to ask what's next for John Morrison, Johnny Impact, Johnny Elite, Johnny Mundo.
It's unfortunate. I actually thought to myself, this may be the last time he actually steps in a wrestling ring, like on television. I think he may. I mean, the only thing I could think of is if he goes to AEW, he gets new life, but he'll just end up in a Bobby Fish role, and probably not even that because he doesn't know Adam Cole.
Indie Wrestling Aces in the house. Hail peeps. What's up?
What up, Aces?
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Hicks Villain says, now it's safe for Elias to come back with Riker gone. Jackson Riker, Gunner from Impact. He has Billy Corgan's NWA written all over him.
He's got heat that's so nuclear. I don't think this was the last game in town. I don't think he gets signed anywhere.
Yeah. Genuine Comics in the house. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today, man. So that does it for the releases. Any other notables? I think we covered it. Shane Thorne. Shane Thorne needs to get back with his old partner and form the Mighty Don't Kneel and go back to New Japan.
I can honestly see maybe Morrison getting a run in Japan, but it would what, he would be just like Juice and Liger. Like Thunder Liger. That's what would happen to him. He'd just be the American guy that people know that loses. Like that's what he'd be, the Liger for New Japan. Like Liger used to come over to ECW, WCW, and WWF and just
put over
lose.
Brian Pillman.
Right. It would happen to Morrison.
Yeah, I'm mad we never got that Shane
Mm.
Thorne slapjack figure.
You know what?
We got the rest of Retribution.
If I'm John Hennigan, I'm officially changing my last name from Hennigan to Morrison, almost doing a warrior, because you need that cachet, man. How many times have we gone to indie events and they're like, Johnny Morrison, and they're all just like, no, he's Impact. He doesn't get a name that he sticks with. It's not like he did a Moxley where he went back to his original name. He was on Tough Enough, stuck with the Johnny Nitro Morrison shtick, and unfortunately that's what happened.
Johnny Dynamite.
Oh.
He's got Rampage.
He's got to stop. Yeah, that's just got to stop. He's got to figure out. This is where a time when I think this is ultimately why I don't see John Hennigan, formerly Morrison, formerly everything else, wrestling again. I just don't think he has the drive to want to rebrand himself and try to become champion elsewhere. I just think it's now officially a paycheck to just keep afloat, which is sad.
We've both met Morrison.
Mhm.
I think his problem is he's too nice of a person.
Yes, he really is. He's one great dude. He followed both of us on Twitter. We both rejoiced. Like he's such a nice dude, and he's so good at what he does. And I just don't think it's his first passion. And I think that's why he's, it's not his first passion. And he's so nice that he lets others, get to the brass ring first. It's really just a shame because Mark will tell you I'm such a mark for Morrison that this is the ultimate
We went
defeated.
to a wrestling event that Morrison was on, and Phil had the Joe Mo sunglasses on.
I had the hoodie, I had the knit hat. I walked up to him and he goes, "Whoa, this is OG Morrison gear." And I told him, like, I was out of wrestling for a while and I saw his match against Rey Mysterio for the IC title. And it just brought me back into loving professional wrestling again. And it's a shame that, I guess I loved professional wrestling more than he did. You know what I mean? I think
Right.
I don't think he's the guy that was ever going to fight to be champion. And in a business where there's just so limited opportunities, you got to fight for it. And you know what? Maybe that's just not his game and he'll be all right. But it's just a shame that he'll never get world champion on his resume.
Yeah. Oh, he had Impact World Champion. Emerald Avenger in the house. He says, "Hail the Pod Gods, just stopping by. As much as I don't like WWE right now, last night was fun. I haven't completed watching Survivor Series yet. I'm about halfway through it.
We gave Survivor Series a bunch of crap leading up to it, but the Survivor Series matches were really good this year. Like, really good. They did a bunch of twists and a bunch of surprises, and it really was good storytelling on both matches.
Jimmy the Lumberjack says, Shane Thorne, new member of New Japan Job Squad. And Nicholas Gear in the house. Howdy, folks. Thanks for joining us, man. All right, let's get into it. Impact Wrestling Turning Point. That was Saturday night, and it starts off with a great match, actually. Ace Austin versus Chris Sabin. I was surprised by this. The Impact loves Ace Austin. I think that it's just a matter of time before he's Impact World Champion. But Chris Sabin, the Impact original, TNA original, gets the victory.
Yeah, I don't know what. This is where I'm confused. I'm always going to be confused on Impact's booking of Ace Austin. He's got the look. His promo skills are top notch, probably top 5 on the roster. Better than a lot of guys in the main event picture. Better than W. Marcy. Better than Moose. Better than Eddie Edwards. It's just that he really worked on his promo skills, and that's when you're smaller than these guys, you really gotta talk the talk. This is confusing because I really thought we were gonna get a Machine Guns reunion, and I thought that was gonna cause Sabin to win and have Austin lose, but really, I don't know without that why you would put Sabin over Austin.
Yeah, I don't know unless they're going to extend the storyline. But I don't think we're getting a Machine Guns reunion.
No, do you think Alex Shelley is just done or just doesn't want to go back to Impact?
He's wrestling all over the indies right
Right.
now. I think he probably soured some people in the front office. I think Scott D'Amore is probably mad that Shelley wouldn't come to the tapings.
That's really petty. The guy did it for an actual business reason because, it takes a lot for a wrestler to come out and say, you know what, here's me at my real job. Wrestling doesn't pay my bills, and they're supposed to be these larger than life characters. For him to open up like that, it's really in poor taste to not book Alex Shelley or bring him back.
Yeah. Or who knows? Maybe it's his choice, and he's like, "Yeah, I can do better than Impact." All right. Next up, Violent by Design. The return of Eric Young in action, and Joe Doring teaming up against Heath and Rhino. Heath, when Heath made his return, I was like, "Man, he looks big," but I think he might just be a little out of shape.
This is weird because I think when he came back, he was jacked. And I think he put a lot of time and effort into it. I think he's been just so riddled with injuries. I don't think he really got the time to get himself back into shape. And this match kind of had him gasping for air by the end of it. I don't think he was ready to compete.
No, Violent by Design gets the victory. The thing, Heath is snake bitten because that hire Heath or Heath for Impact storyline, that video that they did, phenomenal. Yeah, and the whole Heath winning a job was great, and then for him to get hurt and have to wait I think it was over a year before he came back. It just, the whole storyline, all the momentum's gone.
Yeah, and I don't know what you do with him. This was the thing. We didn't predict Violent by Design to win this match. Isn't that fair to say? We expected.
Oh no, absolutely not. Yeah.
What do you get by this? Where do you go from here? Because he's got personality, but maybe he just has got to hitch his wagon to Cardona and Myers and be out of Impact and just try to make it on the indie scene.
Yeah, I mean, they're friends. I could see that they love Heath. They have him on their shows a lot. But yeah, I don't know. I think we're gonna get some more Heath and Rhino, and they're gonna be in that spot where Larry D and
Triple
Ace
XL.
Romero
That's exactly what I thought. They're gonna be the Triple XL tag team.
Yeah,
it's a real shame.
Hicks Villain says Motor City Machine Guns are cursed. One of them are always injured when they get together.
Right.
Yep. And Comic Book Bob says first and last match were for Survivor Series were good. Rest of the show didn't matter. Well, there were no stakes.
Right. Come on, Mark. It's brand supremacy.
Yeah. All right. Next up, VSK. Long Island's own VSK, substituting for an injured Brian Myers, which that really sucks because Brian Myers is one of our favorites to watch every week on Impact. But he had Zicky Dice in his corner and he took on Rich Swann.
This was really impressive by VSK. I gotta say, this match was pretty good.
Well, we always mention how little VSK is, but he was in there with Rich Swann, so you didn't even notice.
No, what I did make me notice was how small Rich Swann is. You know what I mean? Because he's basically nose to nose with VSK. You're kind of like, man, is Rich Swann really that small? And he really is. I think his personality, that's one thing Rich Swann has always done, is that his personality has made him seem bigger than he really is.
Yeah. VSK and Zicky Dice are the Stevie Richards and Blue Meanie of
Oh
Brian
yeah.
Myers' learning tree.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I hope with Myers being hurt, this doesn't mean we get like a whole month's worth of tapings without Brian Myers on it. But I
Right.
have a feeling it is.
I agree.
Yeah, that's the one thing about Impact taping all their shows in one in one like batch. It's it's brutal when someone's out.
When it's on, it's on, and when it's off, it is off.
Yeah. Next up, we got W. Morrissey versus Matt Cardona. Now, so Morrissey gets the win, but I feel like Cardona is the real winner because Moose was the reason why Matt lost. And Cardona was all over this this pay-per-view because he's going to pop up again. So I have a feeling Impact, the light bulb finally went off for Scott D'Amore, and he was like, "Oh, this guy's money, and we're gonna start to see big things for Matt Cardona." The one thing I wish though, it would be heel Matt Cardona, because heel Matt Cardona on the Indies is fantastic, and I would love for them to do a little faction of Cardona, Myers, and VSK.
This this is what I was alluding to earlier. Both Marcy and Cardona, their deals are done with Impact. So this kind of felt like which guy is gonna get the money, right? And it seems like both of the guys are getting money, one more so than other. Morrissey gets the win. It's sort of another like tip of the cap to him, like, hey, stay with us. Your time's coming, right? But they just saw Cardona. We talk about every week. The guy is all over social media. Even when you're not looking for wrestling stuff, somehow Matt Cardona pops up, whether it be his figure podcast, whether it be about his love for Ghostbusters with the new Ghostbusters movie coming out. He's everywhere. I for Big Bad Toy Store, I get their newsletter every week, and I'm looking at the new action figures, and they have a section just for the major wrestling figures, podcast figures.
Yeah.
So you know that they're doing something good, and Matt Cardona is sort of leading this charge. I have a feeling we're going to get heel Matt Cardona, but I think he's going to be face when he wins. I think it's almost going to be Kenny Omega-ish. You win the title as a face, and then you turn heel as soon as you get the title.
Yeah. Impact's been getting a lot more merch. They've been getting into the micro brawlers, trading cards, and Cardona and Myers are the reason why they're getting into that.
Right. I think this is the beginning. I think this is the beginning of the Matt Cardona, Brian Myers era of Impact. I think they took some flyers on them. They didn't know what to make of them, and they really, over the past 2 years, built up a cachet that's unmatched right now. Matt Cardona is the hottest thing in independent wrestling right now, so much so that as soon as we saw that he was going to be on a show and Killer Cross is going to be on a show, and we're just like, all right, we're going.
Yeah. Speaking of which, that's going to be at WrestlePro in New Jersey. Main event. I think it's his first match back. Yep. It'll be Killer Cross in the main event against my man Flip Gordon. Matt Cardona's on the card against Dan Moff, and we'll be vending there selling U.S. Assassin. So that'll be awesome. All right. Next up, Knockouts World Tag Team Championship, The Inspiration versus Decay. No surprise here. The Inspiration with the win. Decay, I love the addition of Jessica Havoc, but I don't know. I just feel like Decay's time has come and gone.
Decay was great, right, when it was Crazy Steve, when it was Rosemary, and it was Abyss. And it was not really anything than to push Rosemary. You know what I mean? It was saying, this is a really good... We have a young star. She's really over with the fans. She can push merch. Let's have this be a stepping stone for her. And now it just seems like she's gotten really to a point where I think when Taya Valkyrie left, they they stopped hitching their wagon to Rosemary. And Jessica Havoc, we saw her with Nevaeh. She just looms large as a personality and as a character and as a wrestler over her tag team partners. She should not be in the tag team division. She should be a single star, and maybe you don't always have to do the turn on your partner gimmick. Maybe they just go their separate ways and they just become single stars because it really, like you said, it's really not working anymore.
You know what? That being said, next week is Wrestle House Thanksgiving. I could totally flip on Rosemary and say she was the greatest thing ever. all rules are off when Wrestle House is involved.
Think about everyone in Wrestle House who's not there. Triple XL is no longer there.
Yeah.
Taya Valkyrie is no longer there. Tommy Dreamer's no longer there. Like those were your stars of it. Diener, right, and Jake something are totally different.
They're like legit stars now.
Right. So it's going to be interesting to see if they try to pull everyone back. They're going to have to really rely on Johnny Swinger. And
Johnny Swinger
Bravo.
was the breakout star of Wrestle House.
Yes, he was.
Him and Alicia Edwards, I believe.
Mm-hmm. That was, I mean, hopefully when Taya Valkyrie comes back, which I assume this is where she's going, that they bring it all back as a Wrestle House scenario.
Yeah, I'd be all for that. Next up, X Division Championship, Trey Miguel versus Laredo Kid versus Steve Maclin. Time and time again, I say, they screw this up.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Maclin needs to be your X Division champion. But I think his time is coming because he had Laredo Kid pinned, and then Trey Miguel hit Maclin with his finisher and covered both of them. Maclin lifted his shoulder up at the last second, and the referee counted 3 and said Trey Miguel still pinned Laredo Kid. But Steve Maclin had Laredo Kid covered before that. Mm-hmm. So,
it was so convoluted, right? The finish was convoluted. The match was convoluted. Trey Miguel and Laredo Kid have a great chemistry in the ring. That's something that really made me say, oh, crap, this is a really good match. Maclin is just a killer. And
he's so brutal in these X Division matches.
I don't know why you even put him in a position where he had to kick out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Maclin is the star of this division. He's the killer of this division. And having him lose all the time is really, taking some of that shine off of him, which is a shame.
He never takes the pinfall, though.
Right, that's true.
They keep protecting him by putting him in these 3 ways. Leandro, just walked out of work and into your stream. Woo! Hail the pod gods. Thanks for joining us, Leandro.
Thank you, Leandro, as always.
So I think it's only a matter of time before Maclin gets that belt.
Agreed.
He has ownership. He has rights to that after that match. His shoulder was up, and he had Laredo Kid covered just as long as Miguel did.
Yep.
All right. Knockouts World Championship match. Mickie James versus Mercedes Martinez. You know what? There's a couple times where I thought they were going to put the belt on Mercedes Martinez, but that's not the story. The story is still Mickie James and Deonna Purrazzo, and Purrazzo got involved afterwards.
Do you think when Mercedes Martinez is like, you know what? I don't want any more of this retribution thing. I don't want any more of this NXT thing. I just want to be a professional wrestler. Do you think when Impact came calling and said we're going to put you in the championship picture, it was just as a bridge to Deonna Purrazzo? Do you think how do you think she feels about that?
Yeah, no. I mean, with the fanfare that they brought her in, they made a big deal about her. I thought she was going to get a title run, but no, it's just sort of like to fill the gap in between. We get the Mickie James Deonna Purrazzo rematch.
This has been the most. Mercedes Martinez was the most exciting thing to happen to that women's division since Kylie Ray versus Deonna Purrazzo,
Yeah.
like almost 2 years ago. And the fact that this whole Mickey James Deonna Purrazzo thing is still happening, Im- Impact is falling under that trap where they are just not booking right, and it's a real shame.
Well, if they want to spice it up, that feud up, I know what they can do. Down on the farm match, Mickey James versus Deonna Purrazzo.
Bra and panties match. Let's bring it all out.
No,
Mud
no,
wrestling.
yeah. We have the down on the farm match, and they fall into the mud, into the pig pen.
Oh.
It's fantastic. It just writes itself, Phil.
A 2 count can be broken up by a horse running out of the stable.
All right. Impact World Tag Team Championship match. The Good Brothers defend against Bullet Club B Team, Chris Bay and Hikaleo. They're making Good Brothers look weak. They had to cheat to beat these guys. That's how bad the tag division is, that they have to make the Good Brothers look bad to make these other teams look good.
I hope these next tapings we just get a whole bunch of Good Brothers doing Good Brother things before the AEW partnership, because since then they've really just fallen to the wayside, no longer a priority. And I miss them in AEW, and they were booked so much stronger on AEW than they were booked on Impact.
Yeah.
And now we had that taste of what was good, and now we're just getting back to that. It's like having a mighty fine cheeseburger and then having to go to Wendy's the day after. Like, you can just tell.
Yo, Wendy's new fries though, fantastic.
Are they really? I haven't tried them out yet.
Absolutely. They threw it out there that they're the hottest, crispiest fries around. They're not lying. They got my attention, Phil.
Wendy's giving the good old push to their fries.
Yeah. All right. Then we have Josh Alexander. He's not booked. So he comes out and he's pissed off that he's not booked. But then Jonah comes out and lays waste to Josh Alexander, the top dog, as he's calling himself.
He was one of the guys that I threw a flip about when they released Bronson Reed. Yeah. And I was just like, you called him up. He was the North American champion, and you made him give that title away so he could get called up. He's so, for a man his size, he is so good at what he does. And when he came running in and just nailed Alexander, you could tell these matches are going to be heavy hitting. These guys are going to come to the next tapings with welts on them when they get to the pay-per-view. It's going to be awesome. This is going to be great.
And he's coming in as a top guy because Josh Alexander is, probably the golden boy of Impact right now.
Yep.
So, yeah, this will be good. Exciting. This is a nice addition to the roster.
Yeah, it really is. See, when Impact wants to do good, they can do good. So, this pay-per-view didn't set the world on fire, but they started to get my faith a little bit back into the product, especially with the possible Cardona championship opportunity coming up, with Jonah coming in, right? And those matches with Alexander are going to be great. There's a lot. Morrison getting a win, so there seems to be a lot of good things up and coming with Impact.
You know what did set the world on fire? The main event. Moose defending against Eddie Edwards. This match was fantastic. Some of the spots in this, the sunset flip powerbomb onto the ladder was nuts. Eddie Edwards wrapping his knee with the chain and going for the Boston knee party. Moose catching him and then power bombing him, and then Moose going for the spear and Eddie catching him and then driving the knee wrapped in the chain into Moose's head several times. They had me there. They had me hooked. I was like, Eddie's gonna actually win this.
You know what? I think the whole Cardona thing earlier also played a factor in this, because I thought, if he's not signed, And this is a good way to get him into a big feud, but not be for the championship. So I
Yeah.
thought maybe they would give it to Eddie because I gotta say, when you forget about Eddie Edwards is when Eddie Edwards is at his best. You forget how good he is in the ring until you see him go up against the big guys.
Yeah.
Like his feud
This
with Lashley was incredible.
this match really made me wish we had gotten Kenny Omega versus Eddie Edwards.
Yeah, really.
Because it would have been better than anything we got with Kenny Omega in Impact,
Mhm.
and then some of that stuff with Moose was amazing, but
Right.
man, Eddie and Kenny Omega would have tore the house down.
No way should he have lost to Christian. He should have lost to Eddie Edwards on Impact Television. It's the way it
Yeah.
should have been. You could have still done the same thing. You could have brought Eddie Edwards on Rampage, right? It wasn't going to do any less of a number than it was by itself being the debut episode. Man, it really makes you wish for it. Now you got to hope Kenny gets our dream match when he comes back from injury.
Yeah. W. Morrissey gets involved in the match. Cardona comes out to stop him, mixes it up with Moose. So I think we're going to get a Moose Cardona feud. But Moose is your winner. Great match, though. I absolutely love this match. A hell of a way to close out the pay-per-view.
Do you think we get a fatal four-way?
That would be fantastic and a great way to keep Eddie in the picture.
Yeah, I gotta hope so. That would be great.
Yeah.
And I don't think he'll eat the pin. One thing we've noticed about Impact is anytime Eddie Edwards is in the match, he's normally not the guy getting pinned in these multi-man matches, which we always go into. You know why they put Eddie in there. But now you never know. You just know that he may not win it, but he's definitely not going to lose it.
Yeah, so that'll do it for Impact. I'm looking forward to their Thanksgiving episode. Wrestle House is back. It should be fun.
Yeah, me too.
All right, let's dive into AEW. Phil, do you have the results pulled up?
Let me go get them up
right
now.
So AEW had a surprise heel turn. We were wondering what was going to happen. I won't spoil until we get into the show. But man, this was a nice move. I'm not against this heel turn.
So it starts off the show, so let's start it up here. We get the National Cowboy Shit Day, which is a celebration of Hangman Page's Full Gear World Championship picture, title victory, and then we get our man Bryan Danielson coming out, who won the tournament to become the first challenger, and he just lays into the Dark Order verbally first.
Yeah. Oh, we got Mandy Summers in the house. What's up, Mandy? Thanks for joining us. Yeah, no, this was a shock. I thought he was going to just come out and like congratulate him, but when he dropped the I'm not going to lie, I wish it was Kenny Omega standing here. The crowd and everyone knew what was about to happen, and it was great.
This was a great. Very rarely do heels turn heel on the microphone, right? Normally,
it's usually with an action.
Normally with an action, and normally it's done when they're like blaming you people that. I hate the fans now. You're never good to me. But to downright insult the man to his face, saying, you know what, I wish it was Kenny Omega. We got to hear say, you know what, I wrestled 2 matches on WrestleMania. Like that continued the fact that he doesn't. It was a heel turn in the fact that he realized he does not respect Hangman Page, and that is what made this heel turn so good.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going to take out each member of the Dark Order on his way to his match with Hangman Page, which I think is fantastic. This is going to be a good build to the match because every week you're going to see him. He defeated Evil Uno this week, or last week. This week he's going to wrestle Johnny Silver. So if they keep this up every week and he takes another member out.
And they're starting, and it's great booking by AEW. to first go after Evil Uno, who was having trepidations with the faction earlier, coming back in saying, you know what, it is my faction, almost sort of semi-taking that leadership role back again. And then he's always the guy who's getting papers thrown in his face. So you always knew that Evil Uno was sort of like the heart of the group. And then, man, did him get that beat down. And now going after Silver next, you just know, man, this is the American Dragon, man. This is the guy we've wanted. So much so that his normal side picture is now serious in front. And you're just like, here it is. We're no longer having to wait for this. We're going to see it. And I'm excited.
Oh, Hicksville instead saying it's Colt, not Silver. So it's Colt first, and then I think Silver, because I think they're going to be in Silver's hometown coming up. And Phil's a little broken up. But, yeah, I think he's trying to get back on. I'm going to remove him, see if we can... Yeah, that Hicksville says probably saving Silver and Reynolds for the Long Island show. Yeah, I got the dates mixed up. Leandro says, is it safe to say Mandy has the second most properties in Comicsgate with the Moral Compass at number 1? Yeah, Mandy has a lot of books going on. Just imagine if Mandy and I did a project together, that would be like two worlds collide. Phil just dropped out. I think he's coming back on. Here he is. He's back.
Yeah, sorry. The iPad, my computer just got fixed up. I'm in the middle of getting information off of it. So my iPad is not the best thing in the world, but hey.
Leandro says, both of you keep the books coming. Leandro was talking about Mandy, who probably has just as many properties as I do coming out. All right, what's next?
So next up, we get Orange Cassidy and Tomohiro Ishii versus the Butcher and the Blade. And you would have thought at the Full Gear viewing when Ishii was named, you would have thought they named the frickin' Rock when they said it was his tag team partner. And that just really made me realize the age group that was there at the pay-per-view and how they are not even old as my wrestling fandom.
Right. Yeah, no, so I'm not going to lie. I'm not that familiar with some of the New Japan guys. Not that impressed with Ishii.
Yeah, me neither. It's fine, power to you. It's not like a Tanahashi. It's not like a huge name coming over. So you're just kind of, eh.
Yeah, it's probably like if I don't want to say Yuta Wheeler coming to New Japan.
It is. It is. Let's face it.
I will say this. They did a funny skit on Being the Elite where Rocky Romero went to hang out with best friends and have a chaos party, and they had Wheeler Yuta dressed as Trent, and they kept trying to pass him off as Trent.
You know what? I can't wait for Trent's back to return because he really brings a lot to the best friends that you didn't realize. It just doesn't work with their current incarnation.
Trent should be a single star, I think.
Agreed.
Hicksville says your router turned heel.
Of course. Trying to silence me to the masses. But next up, we have championship tournament. We have Hikaru Shida against Nyla Rose. Ultimately,
I feel like we've had this match a million times.
Same thing over again. Rose beats Shida.
Yeah.
It just happens all the time.
This is like Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley.
And they teased it at the pay-per-view about Shida and Serena Deeb going at it from the fans. And now she really interfered during this match, which gave Nyla Rose the upper hand to win this match. But do we need more of these three against each other? It always seems if Shida's not after Rose, it's after Deeb. And Nyla Rose is just exclusively after Shida. So it just feels, we've seen it before.
Leandro says best friends work great with Orange Cassidy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So next up, we're getting non-elevation, we're getting non-dark, we're getting a tag team match, we're getting the Acclaimed versus Dante Martin and Lio Rush. Are the Acclaimed not underrated, sneaky good?
Yeah, they're fantastic. Platinum Max,
Hmm.
his intros, I think everyone looks forward to. What's he going to say next? He's always great on the mic.
Right. And plus, Anthony Bowens is so good in the ring. They are the current day New Age Outlaws, and it's
Hmm.
about time that they get their tag team title push. I think I'm gonna call for it. I think the Acclaim deserve it, and I think you know what? Once they win those belts, man, they could trick them out. Like he could make the belt platinum, so a platinum title for Platinum Caster. Like Anthony Bowens could. He always would wear that Power Ranger thing. Like if he could put the belt middle part like on like how he wears it like during his chest piece. Like there's so many good things you can do with these guys, and I'm really impressed with how Caster is getting better in the ring and how Bowens is getting better on his promo. And they really deserve it. I think these guys need to get that push because they can make so much money. They can really be draws.
Yeah, no, I think personality wise, they're probably the most entertaining tag team in AEW.
Mhm. Um, but we've been known they've been building up Lio Rush and Dante Martin for a little bit. Martin and Rush defeat the Acclaim. It just seems like a waste of the Acclaimed.
You know, I'm not against this.
Mm,
I really love this Dante Martin storyline where everyone wants to recruit him.
mm,
Team Taz wants him. Uh, Matt Sydal wanted him. The Acclaim wanted him. So this is, I don't know.
yeah.
I'm enjoying it. It's nice when
Mm,
not the usual suspects get a storyline.
hmm. Speaking of usual suspects who haven't had a storyline, the Pinnacle, they're still a thing.
I don't believe you, Phil.
Well, uh, well, we had MJF, Wardlow, and Shawn Spears. They made their way to the ring. They cut a promo. Darby Allin came out, and then we get CM Punk. Are we gonna get Punk versus MJF?
I think we are.
Are we gonna get amazing promos?
Probably.
It's gonna be great. I am so excited for an MJF Punk feud. It's gonna be, it's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, MJF has really gotten away with not wrestling. He gets
Mhm.
involved in a feud, and then he just does promos for like weeks until the pay per view. So he
But
only wrestles. He's more like an attraction now.
but doesn't that make his matches better?
Oh yeah, that makes him more meaningful.
Like I mean, that match between him and Darby Allin was nothing short of amazing. It was probably
Yeah.
my favorite match of the night. The story
Hmm.
those two guys told, the story MJF, and you forget how good MJF is in the ring. He's such a good technical wrestler, right? That he doesn't need to do all the flips and stuff to make a match good. And that's a lost art in professional wrestling. MJF is just the man. Him and CM Punk are gonna. I want this feud to last for months. Like let it just last forever, man.
Yeah, well, it could probably go to the next pay per view, and that's not going to be for a few months. So
Right. So I have faith in Tony Khan. This is my favorite part. I think that was my favorite part of this week's Dynamite. I mean, it was just a good show
yeah,
from start to finish. Speaking of which made this show even grander, Jay Lethal. Now we popped in the movie theater when he said Jay Lethal. I just turned to you and I went, "Oh shit," because Jay Lethal versus Sammy Guevara was going to be a match, and almighty did they put on a match.
yeah, no, this was a great match. I was actually surprised that they put him in the main event.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but no, I hope this means that they have plans for Jay and that he's not just going to be one of these guys that floats around the mid card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he will. I think he knows his role. And I think he's probably almost going to have a Ricky Starks style career in AEW. That's all I can see. Great promos. He'll come out, probably do a lot of wrestling on Elevation, on Dark, and we'll always want a little bit more from him, see a little bit more. Whether we get that, we don't know.
Leandro says, as a huge Lethal fan, disappointed with his debut. He needed to prop up.
I just think you can't. They have hitched their wagon to 3 young stars in particular: Allen, MJF, and Sammy Guevara. Right.
And Jungle Boy. The
And
four
Jungle Boy.
pillars. The 4 pillows of AEW, as Jim Ross said.
But here's the thing: these guys have really had the main event potential on them, and they're just not going to put any of these new guys. And I think this is a real statement by Tony Khan. His guys are his guys. We all talked about, well, how's this going to take a shift in AEW? Are they going to rely heavily on these new signees? Are they going to is the talent that's there going to take a back seat? And Darby Allin said in an interview recently, he says, anyone who complains about these new guys coming in just means that you're not putting in the work to stay atop. And that's almost attitude era style thinking. Like, if you don't put in the work, you're gonna fall to the bottom.
Mm-hmm. But I think eventually Rampage is going to become a 2-hour show, and there'll be a little more room for all these new guys.
Agreed. One thing we haven't touched on was Kenny Omega has lost his smile, and we know that Kenny Omega, he turns to the Super Click. He tells them, "Hey guys," he says, "Hey, I want you to look after the Elite while I'm gone." And Adam Cole's like, "Yeah, I will." And he just gave him that look. Wasn't talking to you, was talking to the Bucks. What a way to go out for Omega. The man is getting, I think he's getting 4 different types of surgeries. They said he won't be expected back until sometime in 2022. Who knows?
We saw this coming with Adam Cole, though.
Adam Cole is such a good, and him teaming up with Bobby Fish on Rampage, we're slowly going to see the face turn and Undisputed era. Kenny's just taking time off because he's got a sports hernia. He's got a lot of surgeries he's got to deal with, and he's been dealing with vertigo because of the pain.
Yeah, YouTube recommends all these videos to me, and there's always these chiropractor doctors that they recommend, even though I'd never watched the videos. And Kenny Omega was a guest on the on the guy's video, so the guy was working on Kenny's back.
Oh man, he is beat up. He hasn't taken a break in years. It's good for him. It'll be good for him to come back, and we'll all get a nice cheer on it.
When he comes back, he's going to be super babyface.
Oh yeah, and but where do you go? I think this is time. I think this is Adam Cole's time to take the babyface run and just roll with it.
I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe the Undisputed era, or whatever they're going to be called.
Maybe the heels. Yeah. Either way, I'm super excited. Can't wait for it.
And then you'll get the Bucks teaming up with Hangman, because they all like made up and stuff.
It's going to happen. Hangman's going to join the Elite, and it's going to be those 4 against when Fish, Cole, O'Reilly, and probably somebody else. Who?
Steen.
Oh, don't tease me like that. Don't tease me like that. Yes, that would be perfect. So perfect.
Yeah. I mean, Kevin Owens walked out on his team. Did he walk straight to AEW? Probably not. They still got a little more time with Kevin Owens.
Yeah. I mean, did you catch Rampage yet?
I did not.
All right. There was something that spoke to young Attitude Era Cowboy Phil McNulty. We got a face-off between the badass Billy Gunn and the Stinger, and I was there for it. I was so there for it.
Nice. I'll have to check it out later.
Yeah, because Rampage was really good this week because it had Cole and Fish up against Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. It was Darby Allin versus Billy Gunn, so sort of the right. I mean, besides Jade Cargill and Red Velvet, but everything else was a real good. Was really good.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
Mhm.
Phil, that's going to do it for this week's episode. Where can people find you at?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at AnimatedPhil and my Etsy shop down below.
Yeah, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Coney Waves. Make sure you subscribe to Primetime Poulton. Hit the notifications. Go check out US Assassin if you haven't yet. In Demand Store is going to be open for 2 more weeks. And thanks for watching, guys. Phil and I will be back Wednesday to talk. We'll probably talk Survivor Series. And
Yes, we
maybe
will.
some NXT.
NXT Survivor Series Monday Night Raw. Remember, we watch it so you don't have to.
Absolutely. Thanks for tuning in, guys.